When the woman awoke, she found herself locked onto a razor-sharp cutting machine. She had to extract bone marrow from her thigh within a limited time and place it into a nearby device. Only when the weight exceeded 1 kilogram would the cutting mechanism around her neck stop operating. It all began a few days earlier when a group had scammed an old man out of his retirement savings. Seeking revenge, the old man, George, had trapped them all in a deadly game of survival. Days before, George had received devastating news. During a medical checkup, doctors diagnosed him with brain cancer, giving him only months to live. This unexpected diagnosis was impossible to accept. While at the hospital, he witnessed a male nurse stealing a patient's expensive watch. To punish this greedy worker, George devised a horrific punishment. He attached a vacuum machine to the nurse's eyes, with suction cups tightly sealed to his face. If the machine activated, the nurse's eyeballs would be violently extracted. The nurse instinctively tried to break free, but iron plates held him firmly in place. His only escape was to turn a button, but doing so would require breaking his own fingers one by one. With limited time, he managed to break just 4 fingers. The vacuum machine activated, brutally ripping out his eyeballs while George watched expressionlessly. George, who had originally resigned himself to death, unexpectedly met a young man at the hospital who had seemingly recovered from his illness. A strange, sinister smile played on the man's lips as he told George about an effective treatment, providing him with a hospital address. Back home, George hesitantly contacted them. The next day, he received a treatment invitation, with their meeting scheduled in 5 days. Upon arrival, a discreet driver took him to a hidden, quiet treatment facility. A recently cured girl led him inside. The medical environment appeared professional, and George began his treatment. During the procedure, he was even shown his own surgical process. When George opened his eyes, the doctor assured him the surgery was successful and he could be discharged after a few days' rest. They even provided some pain medication, which George gratefully accepted. A week later, wanting to express his gratitude, George returned to the hospital only to find it completely abandoned. The entire treatment now seemed like nothing more than a dream. Entering the sterile operating room, he discovered the surgical monitoring video the doctor had shown him was just a random clip from the internet. In an instant, George realized he had been scammed. He wasn't about to let them get away with it. His first target was the medical institution's driver, whom he quickly tracked down at his usual pickup point. When the driver regained consciousness, he was horrified to see his own arm transformed into something unrecognizable. George's journey of revenge had only just begun.